Having a dashcam in your vehicle is one of the most important things that you can do today, especially with the rising cost of insurance rates and people who are on the road that are not that great at driving. You want to be able to prove fault very easily and make sure that you're covered in the case of an accident. Now, I'm all about reviewing dash cams on my channel, and I've done a couple before, but the one that excites me the most is a custom-fitted dash cam. And a lot of companies out there just create dash cams that you can just slap on your windshield. But here's the thing, it's a messy setup. You have cables dangling everywhere. And also, a lot of these companies don't have reliable dash cams. And if you're installing a dash cam, you need something that is reliable. Now, I got the perfect dash cam sent to me by a company called FitcamX, and they make custom-fitted dash cams for your vehicle. No matter what vehicle you have, they have a custom-fitted dash cam for it. You just have to order that specific type and model. It's the FitcamX Dashcam. And the reason why it's going to be installed in my vehicle today is because it has a very clean and cohesive look. It's fitted perfectly for my vehicle, and it goes right where the rear view mirror goes. So you can't even tell that it's a dash cam that's installed there. And the best part is that you won't have any cables dangling down from your windshield, impeding your vision, and just making your car look really ugly. So without further ado, let's get this installed and show you exactly what the installation procedure looks like, how it looks like after it's completely installed in my vehicle, and then some samples from the dash cam itself. And I'll be installing the front and the rear dash cam today. We'll be hiding all of the wires in my Santa Fe, and I'll show you how that process works. Let's look at what we have in the box. The FitCam comes nicely packaged. When a company spends a little bit of time and effort into the packaging, it speaks volumes to the product itself. In this accessories box, we have the wiring harness, this handy trim tool, which I'll show you how to use shortly, and a USB-C/USB-A adapter for the micro SD card. In the main section, we have a user manual and the camera itself built into the housing that will replace your existing car's housing unit. I should mention, the camera already has a SD card loaded, so you're ready to go. There are no extra cables or anything because that's not needed. It goes right in your factory wiring harness. This package includes a rear camera which will draw power and everything it needs from the main camera. So again, no need to plug this into a cigarette lighter or have wires dangling down your windshield. Finally, we have some clips to keep the wires clean if you choose not to hide it between the trim. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we have our dash cam right at the top here. And as you can see, it was perfectly fitted. The company actually reached out to me, asked me what vehicle I had, just to make sure that they can get the right fit. It looks like it is exactly how it looks like on my Santa Fe as well. So as you can see here, the housing is the exact same as what they sent me. And you can see that the camera is on the front there. And what we're going to do is we're going to snap this off, and we are going to install this. With the rear camera, I will have to kind of hide the wires around the trim, and I'll show you exactly how I do that in a bit. Now, the company gives you this really handy tool. That's to pry open the mirror portion. So we're going to use this to kind of pry open this area here. We'll first pop this guy off right here, and it should just come right out. Using the tool will make it a little bit easier to just pry out. There we go, we just pop that out right there. You'll see that piece comes out. And this is for a 2024 Santa Fe. And then what we do is we're going to push this out and then pop this side open as well. There we go. So that just came loose. And then we should be able to just pull it right off. There we go. And this part should come off too. There we go. All right. So we got that piece off. And as you can see here, you have the rain sensor. We have the box right there. And we have another cable right over here that we might have to unplug when we're installing the new camera. But essentially, it's just popping off this one and putting this one on. So if you're installing a front-facing camera and you're not doing the rear, then your job is pretty much done in 5 minutes. It's not that hard. But because we're installing the rear camera, it's going to take a little bit more. When we're snapping it on, we would essentially just do the exact reverse. So what you want to do is you want to take this cover off first. So you're just going to push these clips right there. Go ahead and take that off. And then we want to be able to just see, and yeah, it fits perfectly. It looks really sleek. So I'm just excited to see how this turns out after everything's said and done. Now the next part here is installing the harness that you get. You have a wiring harness, and what we're going to do is we are going to plug that into the power. So this is the power for the front camera. You have a cable that says rear. We're going to ignore that for now. Here is the power for the front. And so I'm just going to make sure that the pins line up there. There we go. Perfect. It's a nice snug fit. And then we are going to unclip this rain sensor right here and plug it right into the harness. We're just going to make sure that the power is routed now to the camera first and then into our rain sensor. And it's that easy. Okay, so what you want to do here is we plugged it all in and I hid the wire in there. Now you're going to push it back and then just make sure that it snaps into place here. So you want to push it back into place and you'll hear it snap into place, and it's nice and secure here. You can see, and my cable for the rear is just right here. There you go. Boom. All done. And I am going to go ahead and start wiring this bad boy. You can see right over here that the rear cable is ready to be connected to the rear camera. It's in there, so I'm going to go ahead and close that up as well. But now that everything's connected, let's go ahead and make sure that the camera actually boots up. So I'm just going to turn the vehicle on. And we should be getting lights and stuff on the camera just to ensure that it is working. Yeah, so we're getting a light here to indicate that the camera is getting power. So we are pretty much good to go in that sense. It's flashing red. I'm guessing that it's formatting the SD card, and we'll just wait for that to complete. Now, one thing that I am going to do before I install the rear camera is make sure that the camera is getting picture. We're going to download the app and we're going to take a look and see how that all works and comes together. And then we'll just wire the rear camera. Okay, so here we are. We're going to download the FitCam app and just make sure that everything is working. So on my phone, I'm just going to go to the Apple App Store, type in FitCam, and we should see the app appear here shortly. Okay, there it is. First thing, 5 stars. I like that. That's great. But we're going to go ahead and install that. Okay, now that we got the app installed, I'm on the main screen. And obviously, it's very simple, very basic. You have camera, album, and then you have some more settings over here. But what we want is to add the camera. So I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to turn on the car. And then I am going to go ahead and click Add Camera. It says install the camera and power it on. Let's go ahead here. Camera is installed. Now we're going to select the camera Wi-Fi and connect. So it'll bring us right into the settings, but it's supposed to take us to the Wi-Fi settings. And I'm going to look for this camera here. In the instructions, it will tell us what the Wi-Fi password is, the default Wi-Fi password for the camera itself. So I'm just going to look that up right now. And there is the default password. It's 128. So there we go. I see car cam in the Wi-Fi settings. Go ahead and put in the password. And we're going to connect to the camera. Really quick connection. There we go. Perfect. So over here, you can now see that I can access the camera, and it's really, really fast. It boots up really quickly, and I can see the front of it. I can change the orientation, and it gives us a couple options here as well too. So you can kind of flip the image if you want to. You can toggle the mic if you want to, or you can switch between the rear and the front. Obviously the rear is not installed yet, but we're going to go ahead and do that. You can also take a snapshot and pause recording here. But yeah, really simple, really basic, and that's what you want. And then if you need to download any files to the phone itself, you can just click on there. It will show all of the files that are currently on the SD card, and you can save that to your photo album. So if you do get into an accident or something like that, you can quickly access all of that footage here. You can lock footage if you want to. Very simple stuff and very easy to navigate. So really happy with this camera so far. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to install the rear camera, and then we're going to get some real life sample footage when I go driving today. Okay, here we are on the other side of the vehicle. I am going to install the rear camera. Now, the rear camera is really tiny, it's small, but we want to be able to hide all of this wire while we're wiring it to the back. I don't want it to be dangling anywhere. I don't want it to make a mess, and we have plenty of wire to work with. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our tool and kind of lift up the trim. And you can see there's a little bit of give there. So when you're installing this, all you got to do is just shove the wire into the trim. It's really not that hard, but it does take a lot of time and a lot of patience. You don't want to break any of the trim or break any of the clips. So you just want to be very careful when you do that. And once we wire that to the back, there's also a couple other things that we need to consider, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So here we go. Let's go ahead and wire this over. I'm going to plug it in first. It is correctly plugged in. Goes right into there. And then I'll push it right into the trim. With the help of the trim tool, I can lift it a little bit and then I can shove it in. All right, perfect. Sticks in right there. Trim tool is usually just to like give you a little bit of leverage so that you can stick it inside the trim. Depending on what vehicle you have, your trim might be very easy to take apart. Because this is a newer vehicle, it really isn't, but that's okay. I'd rather have a clean install than wires hanging everywhere else. So the final step here, now that I've gotten the rear camera installed, is I'm going to turn on the car. I'm going to adjust the rear camera to make sure that it is in a position that I want it to be, and then I'll stick it onto the back. So we have a good view of both the front and the rear. I can see both sides, and you can see that there are no wires. There's only a slight bit of a wire going at the back there. Into the rear camera, but that is to be expected. You can see that the wire is just over there, which is completely fine. But in the front, put the cover on the top here, and it's snapped right into place. And my rear view mirror is back in its spot, and it looks like it came right out of the factory like this. So you can see the camera is there. It's recording. Yeah, you can see that the lights are on. You can take a picture. So there's two buttons right here. On the bottom, there's a picture or a snapshot. So you can do a quick capture here if you need to. And then there's the power button if you just need to turn it off. If you just need to turn the power off for a little bit, you can go ahead and do that, but it's always recording when your car or your vehicle is on. And we're going to take it for a spin today and also test it out in low light settings just to give you some samples as to how the footage looks like.